Hey guys, what's up? This is Eva or Ivanovna or Lynette. Welcome back to Is This Thing On? So, in the previous episode, we were talking about a little glimpse into my pitiful dating life, which is true. It is very pitiful and weird and just so confusing. But I feel like dating is just so confusing for everybody between the ages of 18 to 25. Like, I just feel like we are still going through so much development and so much we are still figuring out what we want as individuals and how we're going to obtain that. And part of the reason is because, psychologically speaking, I'm a psychology major, so I'm going to throw some stats out there, women mature faster than men. That has been scientifically proven. So women usually by the age of 25, their full frontal cortex, their frontal lobe, is pretty much already fully mature and developed. For men, it could be as late as 30, 28, like more like late 20s hitting early 30s. That's when men's frontal lobe is almost fully developed. And the other interesting thing is that as millennials, we are starting to marry later and later and later. Why? Because our priorities as a society has changed. Like, our generation is very different from our parents and our grandparents. And it's going to keep being different even for the new generation that's being born, because there's just so much information and something new popping up every single day. So women are starting to get married later and later, like around 27, 28. Same thing with men. I've actually read that if you want to have a successful marriage, typically a good marker, good age to get married is probably 25 and older, after 25, because you are less likely to get a divorce because you're still young, you're still developing, you're still trying to figure out what do you want in a partner. And I think that frontal lobe development plays a huge factor into it. I know some people are like, well, age doesn't mean anything. Yes and no. Like, I feel like we are still in such a experimental time of our life that, everything just changes from one day to the next. One day I want to be in a relationship, one day I don't. One day someone bugs me, the other day someone makes me happy. Like, we're just in a constant state of change. And once you move into a different stage of your life, like your 30s, everything's a lot more, I would say, calm. You are more grounded. You are basically a very established person by that time, or at least most people are. So, I think in today's podcast, I wanted to talk about the complexities of dating in the millennial era. Because let me just tell you, online dating has it has skyrocketed throughout the years. Like, we have Tinder, we have Bumble, we have Plenty of Fish, we have Christian Mingle, we have eHarmony, Hinge. There's so many of them out there. And I think I was reading a statistic that about 15% of American adults have used dating sites or mobile dating apps. And this is by the pewresearch.org. And I trust this research because this is APA accredited. And as a psychology major, I look at empirical sources. So basically, literally, usage by 18 to 24-year-olds has increased nearly threefold since 2013, while usage by a 55 to 64-year-olds has doubled. Wow. So not only are millennials taking part in this new way to date, but so are people that are in our parents' generation, in our grandparents' generation. And I guess now, compared to 10 years ago, online dating isn't as taboo now as it was 10 years ago. And because everything is just so readily available, we literally have a device that we can use to get everything right at our fingertips. The same logic has been applied to dating. So I'm going to be honest. I've used a few of these, and the success rate has not been very good. And I think it's because, in a way, they are like a questionnaire, and you kind of have to go in there and fill as much stuff as possible. And based on that, people go in and they make a judgment on whether or not that sounds appealing or attractive to them. And it also says here in the Pew Research, I'm going to be throwing some stats out there, that 12% of American adults have never used an online dating site, but slightly from 9% in early 2013. And 9% of Americans have never used a dating app on their cell phone. The share of Americans who use dating apps has increased threefold since early 2013, at a point of just 3% of Americans have used these apps. So, wow, like literally threefolds, like that's like 33% from here to now. So that is honestly a huge increase. And it's mostly between the ages of 18 to 24. And like I said, 25-year-olds still use this method, but more of them are looking on to marriage and commitment. And you might be wondering, well, what is the age that we commit? It just honestly depends. I've known people that have gotten married at 19 and they are so happy. My youth pastor got married very young, and he's a very, very happy man. He's in a very fulfilling marriage. And, the first thing that people tell you about going into dating when you get married young is that the first couple of years are just really hard, which is true, because in a way you guys are still growing together. You are both so young, you're experiencing so much, your viewpoint of life is constantly changing, you're constantly setting different goals for each other, and that obviously helps the marriage grow and evolve. So it also says here 41% of Americans know someone who uses online dating. 29% know someone who has met a spouse or long term partner via online dating. So, wow, not only are we using dating apps as a convenient way to go on dates, but we're also using it as a convenient way to possibly look for a long term partner, and then that could lead up into marriage. I think that is wow, like that's radical. It says on here too, 80% of Americans who have used online dating agree that online dating is a good way to meet people. 62% agree that online dating allows people to find a better match because they can get to know a lot more people. 61% agree that online dating is easier and more effective than other ways of meeting people. And then there's a minority people that are adding the negative effects of this. And it says 45% of online dating users agree that online dating is more dangerous than other ways of meeting people. 31% agree that online dating keeps people from settling down because they always have options for other people to date. 16% agree that the statement, people who use online dating sites are desperate. I've heard all these statements. I really have. But I actually heard maybe like 1 or 2 days ago that Tinder just added a safety feature where if you feel like you're being attacked or you're being followed, there's a help button on there. There's GPS location on there. So it could literally signal to the authorities that you are in trouble. And I think that's a great tool because you never know who you're dealing with. You may have all this person's information, but catfishing is very real and it does exist. And there are people out there that are just out to do the absolute worst. So please, 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 if you are on these apps, please be careful of who you end up meeting. And if you end up meeting someone, please do it in a very, very public space. Do not go somewhere private. Make sure you let the people in your life that you care about know where you are, whether that's a friend, whether that's a parent, whoever it is that you trust. Please let them know exactly where you are. Give them your number. If you have to, send them your location. That way we can just all be safe. Um, so these are all just a few dating stats. If you guys want to read about it, you can go to the Pew Research Center and just Google dating and it'll come up. But basically, it is so hard to date in this day and age. I mean, we have all these things available and yet we still don't know. And like, I'm just talking for me, but I know what I want in a relationship already. I know exactly what, and I've known for a while, but it's just that every single person that I've sort of dabbled in dating with has led me on. And in some ways, my friends have told me, oh, well, this is God telling you that, revealing to you that these people are not right for you. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It is a blessing in disguise. But at the same time, I'm getting tired of it. Like, I would just love to just meet someone that absolutely is on the exact same page about dating. They don't have to have the exact qualities that I'm looking for, but if their ideology just lines up with mine and we both come to a consensus that we do not want to hook up, mess around, that we want to be committed, that this person is going to treat me right with respect, that this person's going to honor my beliefs and be a man of God, then that's all I can really ask for. I'm not high maintenance. I'm not asking for some grandiose gesture. I'm just asking for someone that is on the exact same page as I am. And I know that, a lot of guys my age do not know what they want. There's so much commitment issues around this age. And I'm not trying to generalize because girls and guys alike have this issue, but I'm just at a point where I've just seen so much. And even though I've never really dated people, I've kind of gotten a glimpse of it and I don't like it. I absolutely hate being stuck in this almost dating limbo where you don't know if this person is interested in you, but they might be, but they're sending you signals that they are, but then they mean another thing. And it's a whole other mess. So I just want to know, what do you guys do if you want to date someone? Do you just be upfront? Do you let them know? Like, what is it about them that you expect out of dating them? Or do you just have no expectations whatsoever and then you don't disappoint yourself? Because some people tell me just go in it with no expectations. Okay, great. But then that leaves me wondering, is this person, worthy of a second date? Like, am I going to be compatible with this person? Like, is there chemistry there? Like, what is it that determines a second date or even a date in the first place? So I also found this other article on 7 surprising online dating statistics about men in 2019. Let's see what this says. Sorry, I'm throwing a bunch of stats, but I think stats are so interesting and I deal with them a lot because, like I said, I study psychology. One of the biggest tools in our research is statistics. So, men in marriage. Let's read this. It says, proposals have always been presented as a male obligation in heterosexual relationships, but In one of our studies about proposals and attitudes to marriage, it was discovered that more than a fifth of men, which is 21%, said that they would actually prefer to be proposed to. That's very, very interesting, because if you did that 10, even 20 years ago, most men or even some of the men I still talk to would feel very much emasculated, because they're like, no, this is the man's job. The man's supposed to propose. And, you know, typically, there's some people that are just very traditional and that's how they like to get things done. And that's great. And then there's people like in this statistic that, would actually prefer the women to propose. So who knows? I mean, it's really up to personal preference. Men and cooking. Ooh, let's see. Surprisingly, men were less impressed when their potential partner could cook compared to women. Only 75% of men said yes when asked, do you find someone more attractive if they can cook? Whereas a massive 83% of women said it was something they found attractive on a date. Honestly, I think it's really attractive if a guy can cook, because it shows me that he likes putting attention to detail, that he wants to cater to me, that he wants to show initiative. And honestly, I like to cook too. I'm pretty okay at it. I'm pretty good at it. I haven't cooked many things in my life, but when I have cooked, they've turned out really great. And I'm always on the hunt for a good vegetarian recipe because I'm vegetarian. So if you have any of those, please send them my way. You know, especially if you are a guy and you want to cook for me, tip, I'm a vegetarian. And yeah, as long as it doesn't have meat in it, we are good. Number 3, paying for dinner, men or women. Ooh. So this is something that I've always kind of wrestled with whenever I'm about to go on a date or have thought I was going to go on a date. I'm like, should I pay for half? Does he pay for the whole thing? What is it? Because in my mind, I don't think I'm fully comfortable with this person, with this guy dating that I'm going on a date with, to pay for my whole meal. I'm not comfortable with that. I know some people grew up traditional and they're like, no, the guy has to pay for everything. I don't agree with that, because it just puts so much pressure on the guy to like take out his wallet and like put it down. And it's like, if we're both working individuals, we both respect and admire each other, why can't we split the bill? I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if the meal was $20, you pay 10, he pays 10, we're good, bada bada bing, you know? But I do know that some guys would find it really weird or degrading if a girl, you know, offers to pay the check, which I don't think should be looked that way, because, I think, in my opinion, if a girl is offering to pay for part of the check, it's because she's independent. She is self-reliant and she knows, like, that you don't have to always that she doesn't always have to depend on you. And I think that's a very good thing, because you do not want codependency in a relationship. It's very unhealthy. To some extent, we need it, but if you are constantly codepending on this person, it's not healthy at all. And the relationship's going to end up being more destructive than uplifting. So, yeah. So let's see what these statistics say. It says a whopping 67% of male and female correspondents said that men should pay for dinner, with 28% saying that it should be split evenly and 12% saying to pay for what you eat. A meager 0.8% thought women should pay for dinner. So how does this splitting among genders? Surprisingly, it's men who think they should pay more than women. 82% of men think they should foot the bill, and 55% of women agree. But it should be noted that 34% of women thought that splitting evenly was the best option. I'm in that 34%. I'm in that 28%. I think that, I like to pay for my stuff. I mean, I think I work really hard, and it just feels good when I can, pay for something, especially if it's something small like coffee. literally, like, don't even worry about it. Like, I'll pay for you. Like, I don't care. It's coffee. I have bought my friends coffee so many times, and I've even been on a few little, like, I guess coffee dates, and the guy's like, no, 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 like, I got paid today. Are you sure? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I'll pay for it. It's literally coffee. Because I suggested it. So I was like, maybe I should pay for it, you know? Ooh, men and friendships. Okay. So, says on here, why do men choose to turn to when they have a relationship question? 60% of women said that they would ask a friend about their real relationship questions, while surprisingly 66% of men also said they would seek out relationship advice from their friends. But almost a third of men prefer to keep it to themselves. 32% with only 16% of women saying the same. Interestingly, 11% of people said they would turn to Google. I'm in that 11%. No shock there. Even more popular than asking a family member, which was only favored by 7%. Let me just tell you guys, I don't have that kind of relationship with my parents where I could, like, confidently talk to them about dating. I cannot. Like, it's just not in me. If you have that relationship with your parents, that's wonderful and that's awesome, but I just can't. If I have relationship questions, I'll usually ask my friends. And most of my friends at the moment are guys. So, yeah, I just go and ask them. I ask my girlfriends too, and vice versa. Ooh, men and sex appeal. We're almost done, guys. There's only like 7 points to this. Surprisingly, one of our surveys found that the sex appeal is more important to women, 60.5%, consider it important than men, 54%. Number 6, men and mental health. Ooh, this I want to hear. This is very interesting. We also asked men, if you were feeling blue, would you talk to someone about it? And if so, who would you talk to? Only 28% of men said they would talk to their friends, while 29% named their partners as their chief confidant. A substantial 26% of men said they wouldn't speak to anyone. That's really sad. When I hear that one of my male friends is going through something and they feel like they can't open up to anyone or even me because they're going to feel like less of a man, I don't like that. I think that it's time that we really break down that stigma and break down that wall and allow men to be vulnerable. Men, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be sensitive. It is okay to cry. You do not have to put up this front that you are a strong macho man, because we're all human. We all experience emotions, and it's just part of being able to cope with ourselves in a healthy manner. And actually, surprisingly, that's why a lot of men end up committing suicide, because they internalize everything and they feel like they have no one else to talk to because of this whole macho man personality. And I just think it's really unfortunate. And if we could all just break down those barriers and, set aside the pride, set aside the macho-ness, we could truly, truly make some progress. So, men, if you're out there, if you're listening to this, please, please just be yourself. Be vulnerable. Be sensitive. It's okay. We will not judge you. Um, you're allowed to feel the things that you feel. So please be vocal. Please, if you are feeling helpless, please reach out to either a friend, a family member, a mental health professional. Please just do it, because you never know when it could be too late. So please. And lastly, this one's a little bit long, but it's the 7th point. It's men and emotions. This one's also very interesting. In our survey, we found that 95% of women answered yes to the question, do you think women prefer men who are open with their emotions? Interestingly, 84% of men answered the same way. That's right, despite women overwhelmingly establishing that they prefer a man who is open about his emotions, 16% of men, which is around 1 in 6, still wrongly believe that women find emotional men less attractive. Let me just tell you, and let me reiterate what I said. It is so okay for a man to be emotional, for a man to show that he is sensitive and vulnerable. It is absolutely okay, and it should be normalized. And we should be able to open up this dialogue with our sons and the men in our life. If you raise your little boy to be able to come to you with anything that's happening to them, they won't have to feel this shameful guilt and this uh, emasculinity when they're older. So please, please educate your sons about this. Please tell them that it's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. I think honestly, it's really attractive and sweet when a guy can come up to me and tell me what he's feeling, what's on his mind. I think that really, you know, it lets me in on what it is that he's feeling and how I can help him, because we're all here to help each other. We're all here to help each other grow and love each other and just protect each other, and that's what we need, guys. Like, it's okay. It also says that we also found that men admitted to crying every once few months, with some 20, 27% of male respondents answering this way. 14% said once a week, another 14% said once a month, 17% said they only cry at weddings, births, or funerals, 2% of men said they cry every day, and a static 6% said they don't cry at all. Again, going back to this, at the end of the day, we are all human. We all need to cry it out. I cannot stress how many times I've told my guy friends to let it out, that it's not good to compartmentalize and internalize everything. You just end up feeling more guilty, and you end up feeling this huge weight on your shoulders, and you just feel like crap. Trust me, like, emotional baggage can weigh you down more than physical baggage. So please just let it out. If you need to cry, go have a good cry. Let it all out, please. It says also, we conduct a lot of surveys at elite singles, but we're especially proud that our analysis has highlighted some of the myths about the male gender. In 2019, it is important that men feel like they can live and express themselves freely and look after their mental awareness without feeling the pressure of conforming to stereotypes. That's very true. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. What does it say about women? Ooh. Let's see. I want to know about this. Let's see. I want to read the women one. All right. After this, I will not do so many stats. Okay, I can't find it on women. I don't know why. Ooh. Let's see. Ooh, I'm searching through statistics. Let's see. Okay, here are some women's statistics. It says, from a survey of 1,000 women, 48% of women respond that they want men who are romantic. 26% of women believe in true love. Only 28% of women believe in love at first sight. 93% of women prefer to be asked out on a date. Yes, I'm in that 93%. I hate it when guys say, let's hang out. Because to me, let's hang out is very casual. It's very non-conformative. It could be changed around. And typically when I say let's hang out, I'm referring to a friend. So that's kind of already establishing the connotation that we are just friends and we are just going to casually do something. So, yes. 6% of women prefer to ask a man out. Let me just tell you, I stopped doing that about almost 2 years ago because I realized that a lot of men find that, like, very intimidating and upfront, which I still don't know why to this day, but yeah, it just happens. But if you are that girl, if you feel confident, if you want to do it, more power to you. If you want to do that, perfectly fine. Hey guys, it's Eva or Ivanovna or Lynette or Ivanovna Lynette. If you've ever seen my YouTube channel, well, welcome. I'm here to tell you today about Anchor and how you can start your own podcast. Anchor is this free tool that you can use to start your very own podcast right from your desktop or your mobile device. So wherever you are, Anchor is there with you. Anchor gives you the tools to start a podcast right from your desktop or mobile device, absolutely free. There's so many tools on here that you can use to edit and record your podcast, add music, and lots more. Not just that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever podcasts are streamed. So you have no excuse to not start on Anchor. And Anchor will also match you up with people that want to sponsor your podcast. That way you get paid for doing the thing that you love. And you do not need a minimum listenership. That's right. You can get paid with no minimum listenership. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor FM app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR FM. Do it now. So let me know, should a woman ask a man out? Should a man ask a woman out? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your concerns. I would like to know because I think, everything is changing. Everything is so fleeting. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on online dating. Let me know your thoughts on marriage and whatnot. And whatever it is that you want to talk about on this next episode, please let me know. Give me your feedback. Be nice about it, though. Send me your questions and you may be featured in the next episode. Who knows? Like, maybe you'll be my next guest on the next episode. So until then, guys, stay cool, push forward, and God bless. Bye. I just wanted to say that I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. There is going to be a part 2 on this specific episode because I could have talked about more of it, but it would have been such a long episode. And I know in this episode, I only really focus on male statistics, not so much on female statistics. So the next episode will be more focused on female statistics and how it relates to the modern complexities of modern dating. So hope you guys enjoyed and have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed rest of your week /day /evening, wherever you're listening from. All right. Bye.